Okay, so here's the loading screen, and all right, there we are. All right, so that's your character on the left, that's my character on the right. You got it? Okay, so you move the joystick to move left, right, forward, backwards, and then the A button is fight or punch, the B button is jump, the X button is run, and the Y button is duck when you want to avoid something.
Can I change what I look like?
No, you've already done that. We made the avatars, remember? That's why you have big red hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right. So we're going to have to move forward through the forest, and after we turn a corner or two, we should find some bad guys. Are you ready to go?
Okay.
All right, so let's go forward. Walk, 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 walk. Okay, now we get here. We turn left. So left. Yeah, very good, very good, very good. And let's run a little bit. So press that button, that button there, and you can run. Yeah, good, good, good. Now, see, oh, there he is. Okay, okay, get your fighting. Get you ready to fight. Now move left, right, left. Like, oh, I got a duck. Oh, jump. Oh, there's a bomb. Oh, man, I think the guy got you.
What? Did I die?
Yeah, you died pretty quickly there.
Do I have another life?
Oh, yeah, we have other lives. We can just reset from the beginning. That's not a problem.
That was really sad.
Don't worry, it'll take a few minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes sometimes, just to get the feel of the game.
It's really hard.
I know. The trick is learning the rules and learning how to kind of get your brain and your hands and the guy on the screen, your avatar, to kind of do everything at the same time when you want, how you want. But that's all about, learning the game. It always takes some time. All right, reset, and here we go. Okay, walk, walk, walk. Turn left, let's run a little bit. There's the bad guys, and let's get into it. Ouch, ooh, wow, that hurt. Zoe and Lenny are learning the rules of the game.
As beginners, we start with a simple tent and some coins, right?
Yes, but we can do many things to grow our home and wealth.
I bet we can cut down trees and use the wood to build things.
We can also sell the wood or trade it for other things like food, seeds, and tools.
All right, so it's video game time, or it's still video game time because it's part 2 or part B, and here we're learning the rules. This is, of course, something you do anytime you learn a new game, right? Whether it's a simple card game or a sport or a video game, you have to learn the rules, learn the things you can and can't do, how to play the game right. So, as we're beginning, it says Zoe and Lenny, our 2 gamer friends, are learning the rules of the game. So you can learn. A lot of the games have a sort of early level where they teach you the rules. They call that the tutorial.
Oh, okay.
Tutorial. That's
like
the
a
part.
lesson.
Yeah, kind of. This is how you run. This is how you jump. This is how you go under stuff, over stuff, fight, that kind of thing. Or you can have, of course, your friend teach you the rules if your friend has experience. So let's get into it. Let's see what Zoe is doing as she learns the rules.
As beginners, we start with a simple tent and some coins, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So they just have a little bit going on. There's not too much. There's not like a whole town to take care of. It's just a little bit because they're beginners. And beginner is the word begin plus N-E-R. So that makes it a person who is just starting from the beginning or from the very start of the game. The first time they've played, maybe they're not so good compared to the word master, for example. That's somebody who is very, very good at that game. So I would be a beginner because I've never played this game before. And as a beginner, they just have a couple of coins.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a beginner in a game, we often call them noobs, N-O-O-B, or newbies, N-E-W-B-I-E. I'm a newbie to this game. I'm a noob. Please tell me the rules. Please don't attack me right away. I'm a beginner. That's right. And in this game, remember, this is kind of a survival game where you have to live in the woods and find your own food and build your own house. One of the things they do have at the beginning of the game is some coins. Coins are basically metal money. The small round pieces of money that are made of metal, 10 NT, 5 NT, 50 NT. Those are coins. Of course, coins are money that we can use in the real world to buy things. Coins are not usually as valuable as bills, the big paper money, of course. And in games, though, they often use coins as the money. A lot of these games are kind of from the ancient past, right? Where people didn't have bills. They only had coins, metal money. That's right, bags of coins. And in many of these games, you'll start with some coins. You might also start with some wood or some food or things like that. You use the coins to buy things, build things. It's one of the resources or one of the things in the game that they use to buy and sell and have money, coins. Right, back to the dialogue. Lenny says, yes, we do have a few things, we do have a few coins, but he says we can do many things to grow our home and wealth. So you're not just waiting to get free coins to build things. You can do stuff, perform actions in the game to grow your wealth and do all sorts of good stuff to kind of advance and get better at the game.
Yeah, and to grow is to make bigger. So, for example, if you're a kid and you're trying to wait to grow up, so you can't wait to be taller, you can't wait to be an adult, you can't wait to go to school by yourself, you're growing. Now, if you have a plant and the plant is growing, you would see nothing in the soil, and then maybe a little bit of sprout, and then some flowers, and then maybe eventually huge leaves, lots of flowers. To grow is to become bigger, to become better, to become larger, and you can grow what you have in the game, or we can say you can grow your wealth.
That's right. Now, of course, living things grow. It's to change and get bigger over time. But we also, use that verb grow to talk about other things that might change and get bigger over a longer period of time. Your knowledge will grow as you go to school and learn more things. Your experience in something will grow as you do it more often. You become better, wiser, you have more experiences, more knowledge, and you can grow your wealth. Now, we're not talking about buying a lottery ticket one day and becoming a rich person the next day. That's not really growing your wealth. But if you invest your money, if you get a job and then get a better job and earn more money, save your money, put your money places that you keep it safe and it might actually grow or get more money, that's what we're talking about. Because wealth is basically the money that you have, the valuable things in your life. This is your wealth. Of course, you might keep your wealth in the bank in the form of coins and dollar bills and credit cards. Or you can also have wealth in the terms of land, property, a home, a car. All of these things will be part of your wealth, the money that you have in your life to do things with. So they definitely want to grow wealth, but in a game like this is not something that happens overnight. You have to work at it. So what do?
Okay, so they're working with what they have at this point.
Right.
So Zoe says, I bet we can cut down trees and use the wood to build things. Oh, maybe they can build some houses.
Absolutely. Houses, tools, all sorts of stuff. So that's another resource that they have, the wood in the trees, the coin in their pocket. And then Lenny says we can also sell the wood or trade it for other things like food, seeds, and tools. So this is kind of like how business was done hundreds of years ago, right? You would cut something down. I have wood, he has apples, I need food, he needs a house, I give him wood, he gives me apples. That's the way often these economies in the game work, in a kind of simple, easy to understand way. And if you do a bit of work, you should get everything you need. Let's take a break and then we'll be back with more from Video Game Land.
Seeds? Does that mean we can grow our own corn and other crops?
Yes, and we can even raise our own animals.
Oh, I like that.
I thought you would.
Seeds? What do you mean by seeds? So Zoe is kind of confused. What do they want to do with the seeds? Does that mean we can grow our own corn and other crops? So we've got a bunch of seeds. What can we do with them?
That's
we can
right.
make our own farm?
Well, I guess they could. They have wood. They can trade the wood for seeds. And then what do they do with the seeds? Well, what do you do with seeds? You plant them in the ground and see what comes up. In other words, you grow your own corn and other crops. So that's Zoe's question. Is that what we do with the seeds when we trade wood for them? And Lenny says yes. So it's kind of like in real life, you know, if you didn't have much, but you have wood, you get some seeds, you need food, use the seeds to make food.
That's
so
smart.
That's what we do. Yes, he says, and we can even raise our own animals. I guess once you grow some corn, you trade the corn for a couple of chickens, and then a little bit later,
eggs.
you have 8 chickens,
and you have
and then
omelets.
16 chickens, and then you have eggs for breakfast every day.
Yes.
Isn't life wonderful at that point? But first, of course, you have to grow your corn. Corn is a plant, I guess, that you could call it a plant, but most of us think of corn as a food. It's one of those main staple foods. We call these staple foods things like rice, wheat, corn. Different parts of the world, they grow these foods, and it's what a lot of people eat for most of their meals. And if you go to parts of North America, South America, places like that, corn has been very popular. It grows in long plants called stalks. It comes in long pieces called an ear. And of course, we eat corn in all sorts of ways. Corn soup is very popular
There's
here.
so many different colors too.
And that's right. Corn
Purple
does
corn,
come in all sorts of
white
colors.
corn.
It can be used in all sorts of ways. And of course, if you have Mexican food, you'll probably have bread or tortillas made of corn. It's very useful and very tasty. And it's a very common crop all over the world now.
Yeah, crops are foods, things you grow. So these are big groups of foods like corn, wheat. These are crops too.
Yep.
Crops are what farmers grow. You know, they call it the things they grow, the produce. We call them crops. So there are many different types of crops grown all over different parts of the world. These are big food groups that people consume. They buy and sell and trade and eat. And we can also raise our own chickens besides growing crops.
That's right. When you grow something, you're probably talking about a crop, a plant. You might have a crop of apples or grapes on a wine farm or something like that. Of course, corn, wheat, rice. And when we use the verb to raise, though, we're talking about growing, but not really,
like
an animal.
Or a
so
person.
You could raise a person, but this is a living animal of some kind. So a farmer might raise chickens, raise pigs, raise cows, raise sheep, and of course, as you said, parents, and even the parents of animals, they will raise their young, raise their children, keep them safe, keep them healthy, help them grow from a child, from a small creature to a large adult. That is your job as a parent, to raise your kids in the best way possible. So yeah, they'll be able to grow crops and raise animals on their farms.
Oh, and I think Zoe has the same dream as me, which is to have an organic farm. And so Zoe says, oh, I like that.
Yeah, she's kind of getting into the game. And Lenny says, I thought you would. So maybe Lenny has played the game before. He knows Zoe. He might know that she doesn't like fighting games or flying spaceships or something.
Same here.
But something kind of calm and relaxing where no one has to die. Like having your own little farm. That kind of, you know, that appeals to her. So Lenny's happy that his friend Zoe is enjoying the game, and I am too, because I think these days, really, there's a game out there for anyone. You might say, oh, I don't like games, but there are so many interesting games out there. You might not like the most popular ones, but I'm sure there's a game out there just for you. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for today, but we'll have more with video games tomorrow. So we'll see you back here for that. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Zoe and Lenny are learning the rules of the game.
As beginners, we start with a simple tent and some coins, right?
Yes, but we can do many things to grow our home and wealth.
I bet we can cut down trees and use the wood to build things.
We can also sell the wood or trade it for other things like food, seeds, and tools.
Seeds? Does that mean we can grow our own corn and other crops?
Yes, and we can even raise our own animals.
Oh, I like that.
I thought you would.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下这一课的重点单字。第一个 ，beginner，beginner 名词，初学者、新手。As a beginner, you can only ski on easier slopes. 作为初学者，你只能在较容易的斜坡上滑雪。Slope 在这里是名词，斜坡。 下一个单字 coin 名词，硬币、钱币。Teddy liked to collect coins when he was a kid. Teddy 小时候喜欢收集硬币。那么纸钞有哪一些说法呢？你可以说 paper money, bill 或者是 banknote。下一个单字 grow 动词，增加、种植。它的动词三态是 grow, grew, grown. We have trouble growing our business. 我们在发展业务方面遇到了困难。另外一个例句 Maria grows many flowers in her backyard. Maria 在她的后院种了许多花。Backyard 就是指后院。最后一个单字 corn 名词，玉米。All of David's chickens are fed on corn. David 所有的鸡都是吃玉米的。Fed 是喂食的意思，它是 feed 的过去分词。所以这边有一个被动语态的用法 ，A be fed on B， 等于是说 A 被喂食 B， 也就是 A 吃 B 这个食物的意思咯。接着我们来看一下这一课的重点文法。第一个 A cuts down B，A 砍倒、割除 B。Cut 在这里指的是砍伐、砍掉，它的动词三态是同形的。我们来看看下面这个例句。My father was very angry because his neighbor cut down his favorite tree in the garden. 我爸非常生气，因为他的邻居砍倒了花园里他最喜欢的一棵树。下一个文法 ，trade A for B， 以 A 交换 B。Trade 是动词，交换以物易物这个意思。我们来看看下面这个例句。Hey, can I trade my gun for that sword? Your sword looks cool.
Your gun looks cool too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
亲不知子 Trail is located in Fengbin, Hualien. This path follows along a steep cliff. It faces toward the Pacific Ocean. The trail was first a footpath to connect two local villages. A new glass-bottomed bridge was added to the trail in 2017. The bridge hangs 50 meters above the Pacific Ocean. Check out亲不知子 Trail for great views of the Pacific Ocean and large cliffside.
See you next time.